My name's Sonam. I'm a meditation teacher. I've been teaching meditation online for about 3 years, and every year I do an app review. Because there are so many apps these days, I'm only going to mention the meditation apps I would recommend. If it's no longer on the list, unfortunately, my favorite meditation app this year is Mindful Glimpses. Mindful Glimpses is a meditation app by Locke Kelly. The reason why this is my favorite meditation app is because Locke Kelly is very good at teaching meditation, and I think he's a very realized teacher. Like, I think he not only intellectually knows what he's speaking about, I think he embodies it. He's not speaking to your intellectual mind, he's really speaking to your awake awareness or this loving spiritual self we all have. If you're on a spiritual meditation mindfulness journey, I think this app is the end goal. This way of being in the world is where you end up, no matter how many things you try along the way. It's more about feeling into and sensing a fresh and alive, loving, flowing way of being. There's small meditations, longer meditations, retreat days on there. Mindful Glimpses approach is a synthesis with the modern psychotherapy branch of internal family systems, IFS. Try the trial and see if this one works for you, because if it does, it's going to be smooth sailing. How can I not recommend Healthy Minds? They're at the cutting edge of mindfulness and meditation, doing a lot of the research, which is taking the field or inquiry forward. Some of the work they're doing is putting monks in MRIs, and it's this really wonderful meeting of the scientific world with also this traditional world. It's got a linear path, so you can go from knowing nothing about meditation and constructively build layer upon layer until you have a really powerful resource on the app, but also within yourself about how to meditate. It's not really diluting the practice. I mean, sure, it's an app, but the app leads you through a series of contemplations, foundations for practice, and also specific insights, which is giving you the most full and simplified approach to meditation in any app. If you don't want to get your card out or get charged, Healthy Minds is the place to start. Waking Up probably has the most philosophical approach to meditation. It's introduced a lot of new meditators to mindfulness and meditation beyond being a sort of productivity and lifestyle hack, and more noticing something about the nature of mind or the nature of being ourselves in the world.
There's a lot of confusion about non-duality and the illusoriness of the self.
Sam Harris, who's the creator of the app, he's interviewed a lot of different people on there. There's Q&As, there's a theory section, a life section. I also really like that recently they've been rolling out some community features. They are doing meetups all around the world, local meetups. So if you're new to meditation and you want some friends to help support you, or you just want to meet other people who are interested in the same sorts of things that you are, Moments of Space. Easily the most beautiful meditation app out there. Its prettiness alone probably makes it the most accessible app for a lot of our audience today. There are 4 main paths of meditation on the app: body, mind, heart, and space. There's also some modern holistic science being interwoven into the app too.
Healing emotions doesn't mean curing them, as though they're something to be fixed or gotten rid of.
There's references to nervous system and sort of body breathing hacks. There's imagination being used, and there's some really technical meditation techniques, which I think they must be getting from some esoteric teachings. So it looks sleek, but it's also the actual meditation power behind it is quite refined. There's also a moment section if you prefer not to do something linear and just have a sort of, I don't know, a lucky dip, I suppose. A lucky dip meditation. The Way is a Zen-style meditation app. I really like their art style. Each meditation session builds onto the next, rather than the smorgasbord approach to meditation. You'll notice I didn't mention Insight Timer this year. There's no other options on the app. Zen says, hey, let's just practice these foundations from the beginning, because essentially the practice is always the same. What do you need? You need to sit. The shifts you're making when you're meditating, you're being still. They're subtle, but they do build. It's subtle shift, subtle shift, subtle shift. You can really incrementally pack out awareness. The only journey is that it's a commitment. People who are sort of discipline-minded, they can apply themselves. They just want one thing to do, and to do it properly, the Way's the one for you. So finally, a unique entry to our app reviews is Medi Land. When you become, more peaceful and clear, you might start seeing differences in your world and your reality, but you can also start seeing differences straight away with your beautiful island. You get rewarded for meditating by seeing our flowers grow, visiting our friends' islands. When I used to play more games, I used to love customizing games. This is a really neat idea to help funnel us into the habit. The meditations on the app are really good, and the app is still largely in development. You can jump on their Discord and you have the opportunity to be involved in shaping the development of this app. I think despite some of the ways other apps try to appeal to children through celebrity endorsement,
This is a whole new scenario.
or through childish cartoons, I actually think this is a lot more upfront and a lot more fun. So there you go, those are my top 6 and my only 6 meditation app recommendations for this year. My favorite is definitely Mindful Glimpses, just because look, Kelly's so good, and I know if you're on there, your life is going to be changing. Healthy Minds, I should have been recommending it way sooner. It's got a beautiful structure. The team behind it are so brilliant. Waking Up, every word is just so limiting to what it means to actually feel freedom and the end of suffering in your lived experience in a moment. Just in the name of the app, isn't it? Waking Up app. For waking up. Moments of Space, it's just so beautiful. The categories are there, the skill and the teachings. You feel good about yourself when you're using the app. The way is straightforward, and it's kind of storytelling, to get to the end of that long journey, I think would be really satisfying. Medi Land is a lot of fun. It's an expression of personality, you make your island. This is such a creative and playful way to get into meditation. Sometimes that's the quickest and fastest way to learn anything. I just think these people are doing something awesome. I've not been paid by anyone today. There was really clearly a before and after in my life of meditation, where I went from suffering and a dreary life of thinking, oh my gosh, my life's just going to be suffering, to really believing that there's a possibility to just notice the sublime beauty of being here and letting that infiltrate my life more and more until there's no distance between me and beauty or presence. There is just beauty and presence. And I think that's what meditation and mindfulness offers. And that's what you can have today. I hope this video helps you. Share this with someone if you want to help this cause. Subscribe, like the video. If you have any questions, let me know. May we all come to know wonderful ways of being.